with our souls gently rising up and awakened. I invite you to notice where your body is resting in this moment. As you breathe in and out, can you feel the back of your body supported, held in this moment? Can you feel your inhale? Maybe gently lifting your shoulders, filling your belly. Your exhale softening you into this moment. Feeling the universal pattern of your breath in and your breath out. Your body, even in stillness, ebbing and flowing with the pattern and rhythm of your own breath in and out. Your eyes might be closed or just softening your gaze. Trusting the rhythm of this moment. Noticing thoughts or sensation that rises up. And letting it gently sift and float away. In this softened space, I invite you to bring to your heart, mind again that situation that is disquieting to you, that causes a reaction, a response that maybe doesn't stem from your deepest sense of self as God's self. And in this shared stillness, hold both your reaction and your humanness and that situation. Hold it in peace as much as you are able in this moment. Letting your breath breathe in peace around that. Breathe light around it. Feeling it expand. out beyond your body, sensing that peace rippling past you to the person sitting near you, or the person who causes that reaction to bubble up in you. Feel it expanding beyond the edges and boundaries of the walls in which we live and the walls that we create around ourselves, that only love can make tumble. And in this universal pattern of the ebb and flow of your own breath as peace, as light, as presence, trust that your efforts are not your efforts alone. Your efforts are held in this beloved community. They're held in the hands of God, in the heart of God, that you embody, that we each embody, that all beings embody. And so let us hold a vision of peace in the world. And then come back into this space. Fully awakened in body and soul and heart and hands. Pete, thank you for that. So I mentioned in our welcome that was granted a little bit longer than it usually is this morning. For good reason. We have this gift of a little bit of holy improvisation this morning. Getting in at 10 o'clock last night and waking up at 5 this morning to pull my thoughts together in prayer and trust. And so I ask you to pray with me and for me, that in this space of our awakened souls and bodies and minds and hearts, that the power of this ministry, of this gift of beloved community, this gift of sacred time that we make holy together, that what Spirit, what God, what the universe, what creation needs for us to be aware of this morning in these next few minutes is what will come through me. That I can lay aside my small s self and be a vessel and an invitation for Spirit to awaken in me and in us. And in gratitude. Thank you. I'd like to bring us back to Easter Sunday. To Easter and that universal pattern that I mentioned when I read the words of Richard Rohr, that resurrection and renewal are in fact the universal, observable pattern of everything. He says we might as well just use non-religious terms like springtime, regeneration, healing, forgiveness, peace in relationships. Resurrection in multitudinous forms is to be fully expected. This morning, reading Diane Butler Bass, she reminds us again of Easter as a season, not just a day where maybe you were lucky enough to get an Easter basket with some chocolate in it that's probably gone by now. Maybe. But it's 50 days to celebrate resurrection, to celebrate new life, joy, and hope. And I loved her reminder that we're aware of, that Easter and the way we try to live into what it means to be this beloved community is countercultural these days. Gloominess, fear, anxiety, attack, distrust, and stress are the emotional coin of the realm. Was it hard for you to come up with the situation that causes you to have a reaction this morning? Maybe it was hard to pick one, right? There's so much around us. Maybe in our personal lives and in our personal relationships, but certainly all around us, the coin of the realm invites us into despair, into seeing the stone rolled across the tomb, and that's it. Diane Butler Bass also writes, resurrection involves death. That word we don't even like to say. For the new thing to come, old things have to go. Structures of domination, evils that pose as grace, and whatever undermines loving the earth and our neighbors. Resurrection can't happen without endings. New life is impossible without the finality of no going back, grief at the tomb, death. Raise your hand if you've ever felt so stuck in a situation, a relationship, a job, a mood, an aggravation, that it seemed to suck the life out of you, that it felt like such a weight or a dead end, that you didn't know how you would ever roll the stone away from the tomb. Anybody? Oh, I see a lot of hands waving at me. Holy wow. Raise your hand if you have ever felt that horrible weight lift you into new life. Resurrection and renewal are the universal pattern. How has resurrection shown up for you in your life? You are one of the ways resurrection has shown up for me. We had a lot of time on our road trip to Buffalo to talk about our life stories a little bit more. Before we even got to the gift of hours of a workshop designed to help us think about our ministry, our own personal sense of ministry, but our beloved community. And I was struck as I was thinking this morning by some of those stories, but also by the fact that one of those moments for me of feeling like I did not know how to get out of that box was that last hard year in my old job. The job that 95% of it brought me life, but the 5% was killing me. My kids were a little bit afraid that maybe that would be literal. And in that sense of, God, help me, I do not know what to do, pausing, praying, calling in trust. Those are the words from the daily word. I don't stay in that feeling. I call in the trust that faith and love are also with me, that the strength of God is also with me. And in this moment of stepping in to the surprise of a call to be your minister, that was not ever anything I had imagined in my life. This call continuously calls forth more from me. You are a gift that keeps on giving. You're not always an easy gift. And I don't anticipate that I am always an easy gift to you. That's relationship. That is the universal pattern of resurrection at work. We have so much food for thought from that workshop, but really the gift is in considering, why are we here? What draws us to come here on a Sunday, to come to the new life that's around us in coffee houses and Garland Nelson and One Song and a social activities committee that's chomping at the bit to get things going. Hiking yesterday, there's new life. There's a sense of renewed connection possible in a retreat around the corner. Resurrection is the universal pattern of life, of which death and endings are a part. I am so excited to have charged my Unity batteries yesterday. I can't wait, actually, now that my house is nearly resurrected, to be able to start taking again the Unity courses that are a part of my path towards Unity ministry officially. I love that I can come to this Unity path with beginner's eyes, and that I can grow in my understanding of the foundations of unity as a movement, as not just our community, but how we are connected to communities all over the world. I'm so grateful for a chance yesterday to see, there are some communities that are truly in crisis right now. We're not. We're not in crisis. We have the gift of leadership over the course of time that held the ship together during the crisis days of COVID. And we have a renewed sense of energy and hope and new life in our community. What a gift that is. We have people in our community who have worked in the field of death and dying and grief. And oddly enough, we're really excited to bring that ease of conversation to our community. What a gift to be able to really open our eyes to the fact that this physical life, this fully human experience, will someday come to an end. Can we enter then the gift of living fully with that realization and not have it shut us down? Not have it fill us with so much fear that we're afraid to look unflinchingly into the relationships that we want to heal, into the choices that we make that either bring us into new life or keep us shut away in a cave. Resurrection is a universal pattern. Over these past few weeks, I've used this refrain that I also know as a teacher: you teach what you need to know. So as I keep going again and again into this space of this story of Jesus, the pilgrimage to Jerusalem that we celebrated on Palm Sunday, the washing of the feet, being the servant to our friends in our community, the celebration of the resurrection moment. It is not history. It is current events. I need to remember that. I have some stuff, it turns out. I was reminded yesterday around the word Christian. Some of us come to Unity as formers. We had a tradition, perhaps at one point in our life, that no longer quite fit where our hearts were seeking, where our spirits were seeking. And so we found this home. But what does it mean to have this way shower, who was part of Charles and Myrtle Fillmore's beginnings, to reawaken us to what it means not to focus on sin and salvation, but on those universal patterns, on what those sacred texts of this tradition and others have to teach us about what it means in this moment. It's a movement. We are moving. We are evolving. How are we coming together to hold each other, to challenge each other, to grow together? Because this moment in time, where that word has been co-opted in ways that people who I truly believe their hearts are hurting because they see a world that perhaps has left them in pain. But how do we hold that? How do we hold that in a way that says, we who are alive today are one? That we do not see the other as separate, despite our reactions, despite our differences and how we live. How are we called to love one another beyond any sense of separation from spirit or others? How are we living into the words we say together each week? It is not easy. It's simple. We just love each other. You've heard me say that a few times over the course of my 1.5 years here. It's a simple message to love one another, but it is not always easy to do it. And so we come together. We come to celebrate in laughter. Laughter is carbonated holiness. Thank you, Anne Lamott, one of my favorite quotes. We're here to sing. We're here to dance in spirit. We're here to have gatherings that bring us together in just fun and friendship, as well as deeper ways to grow connected. I cannot do it alone. I am so grateful for your presence and how this resurrection in my life continually asks me to trust, even when I don't think I can. So thank you. Toda Rava kind of thank you. Toda Rava at the Wailing Wall. Thank you, Yahweh. Thank you, God, for the gift of how we show up for each other. Sometimes imperfectly. Sometimes imperfectly. but growing. Saying yes to the new life of the universal pattern of resurrection, alive in us. The Christ in us alive. And look around. Look around you. We just sang, the God in you, the God in me. Maybe it's harder for you to look in the mirror and see God. So see it reflected around you in this room. If we want peace in the world, we must have peace in our hearts. I'm going to close with a poem that is attributed to Lao Tzu, who may or may not even have been an actual one person. But this is wisdom from the 6th century. And it so fits the wisdom of our daily word and the rhythm of new life. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace at home. If there is to be peace at home, there must be peace in the heart. Let's say that in reverse. There must be peace in the heart if there's to be peace in the home. There must be peace in the home if there is to be peace between neighbors. There must be peace between neighbors if there is to be peace in the cities. There must be peace in the cities if there is to be peace between nations. There must be peace between nations if there is to be peace in the world. How's your peace feeling this morning? A little deeper? A little more resurrected? Now get out there and bring peace to the world. Amen. Oh, thank you.